Welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3, and Sam and I are happy to have Brent Duncan with us. He's the Director of Athletics at CHS, and you've got the girls off and running.
Yeah, Coach Harder and Coach Alf done a pretty good job getting our lady Spartans out to the good start. Like we talked earlier, a little rough start at New Pal on opening night, but got to split the weekend in the tournament and then beat Shenandoah on Saturday night, and hopefully we'll come out tomorrow night against Mount Vernon and play with a little bit more confidence than we did the first game of the year and the beginning of the second game. But
Decatur Central only lost by 6 points, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah, we got it back, I think maybe 7-38-31 or somewhere in there, and got off to a real slow start on that Saturday morning, but made a little flurry come back. And you can see we're still, even though we had some girls play last year, we're still young. Those girls were young last year, so now they're juniors. You know, we've got a couple seniors that spot in out there, and then still playing a couple more sophomores. So more experience they can get, the more games they get under the belt, hopefully they'll get a little more comfortable.
Sam, the Lady Spartans are looking better.
Much better. This past Saturday night with Shenandoah, I had them for 8 turnovers. And it wasn't long ago that midway through the first quarter, we would probably had 8 turnovers.
Right.
They just defensively played a lot better. They forced, my numbers were right, they forced 25 turnovers against Shenandoah, which came in, you know, we went up their place last year, and I believe the score was 60-39 that we lost.
Yes.
Didn't play so well, but of course personnel changes. But our girls, I think, have really improved over the summer and since last year. But we saw that from the beginning, gradual improvement in many different areas.
Yeah, toward the end of the season, they were playing pretty good
But
ball.
defensively, the other night, best I've seen. And I told Coach that after the game that in her tenure, Shenandoah, I think, is a pretty good 2A team. Now,
yes,
this week, tomorrow night, Tuesday night with Mount Vernon, Coach Julie Shelton. Yes, she's been around a long time. Left for a while, went to Butler and coached, and came back, and a Hall of Fame caliber coach. So
yes,
and always has great teams. I always tell the story that one year we were preseason number 1 or number 2. It was back when April was playing, and we went up there the first game, and after that game we weren't number 1 anymore. That they put it to us. But after that, I think we ran off like 24 straight. So a very tough, with a lot of tradition, Mount Vernon team coming in.
But we'll be at home, so that's good.
It's always good to have especially when you're inexperienced overall. You know, Paige has played a lot. Sarah played a little bit last year, first year. You know, Kara's a first-year senior. Carson came in last year as a first year. So we still don't have a lot of experience under our belt at the varsity level. So every game we get is a better opportunity for our girls to get better. And obviously, I think Coach Harden is cut from the same cloth as far as what she wants done as Coach Brown is. So
yes,
it just takes time to get what you want in and get it done the correct way. And I think as I told Coach the other night, I said, sometimes we don't always get done what you're trying to do, but I can see they have the idea of what you want to get done, and they have the idea of what they need to get done, and sometimes it's just getting executed. So it's just fine-tuning some things now that I think everybody has a clear understanding of what she expects and what she wants.
Young girls are playing, too.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of young girls. You know, we got a couple sophomores that play quite a bit, and a couple 3 juniors that come in and play in the game, and you know that's good experience for them. So, and our JV team's pretty young overall, and that'd be good for us if everything continue.
Post play with Schwartz, I think, looking pretty good, and Simback comes in as well. So underneath, I think I see improvement.
Abby does a lot of good things, you know, and sometimes it's just, in my opinion, it's just her believing in herself that she can do those things. And if you've watched Simback play, she's just a competitor. It's like, it's my ball. It doesn't matter where it's at. It's my ball. So
what I've seen, Brent, is when they're down underneath, posting up, and they turn to shoot, they're putting it off the glass, where before it just kind of rainbow up and over.
Yeah, and that's just from a really good summer of making sure you know how your post moves and going to be taught. So lots of little improvements, lots of things to go. Obviously, we still got a little ways to go, but
sure,
you see things that you enjoy and that you like, and hopefully that'll just continue.
It's good to have the band and Spartanettes and all that back. I thought we had a pretty good crowd on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was, especially on Saturday. You never know what you're going to get on a Saturday night, but just the atmosphere was so it's 100 times better than what we had last year in the situation where band was not there, 50 people from us, and maybe if we got lucky, get 25 from them, and just kind of dead. You know how that gym that sits to the west of us is a little bit, when you don't have a packed house, it's just dead in there because of the space. And same goes with us. With a little bit of people, we can make it a pretty good atmosphere. And it's just good to see some of the fans that were back in there. You know, I won't mention anybody's name, but I talked to a few people, and they were just excited as punch being back in the bowl and able to come and watch the Lady Spartans on Saturday night. So,
yeah, a lot of fun.
It's good to see turn the corner, and I think we're on our way.
Yeah, let's just hope it continues. You know?
Yes,
That's the optimal part. And it's good for the kids to have those fans in there. And, you know, that's a big atmosphere for our kids. And I don't think, and we've talked about it many times, I don't know if our kids understand how lucky they are sometimes. If you go to away games, they don't get that same type of
That's right.
emotion at many of the schools we go to.
Yeah, I don't recall places that we go that that would have their dance team out there that have their band for girls basketball. A few, Rushville will have a band, but most places not.
No,
You're
and
lucky to even have any cheerleaders in there.
well, I was going to say, half the time their cheerleaders don't show up till the varsity game. So kudos to our band and our Spartanettes and our cheerleaders. They all want to be there. They're all part of that. It was nice to see I called it a pretty good sized cheering rectangle the other night for the girls game. You know, I like to see that expand with our kids in the stands, and they were into the game, and the kids love that. They dress up and they pick a theme, and I'm sure when the first boys games that maybe the cheering rectangle will grow, but I can see it grow for the girls and get people in, and as long as the girls keep winning, people will come.
Yeah.
So
Build it and they will come.
that's what they say.
It's building
Let's
a
keep
team.
going. So
Yeah.
School spirit is pretty good at CHS.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I think when your teams are winning,
Yes.
I think kids understand that when the athletic teams are in, there's just a different feel in the building. For whatever reason, it's just, you know, it's always, the kids are happy, they're excited, they know the games are coming, they're going to go watch something, and
Sure.
like to keep that continued. And we had a pretty good prep session right before the football game on Friday going to Mount Vernon, and saw a lot more involvement from our student body than I had seen in the past, so that's positive. So
Yes.
shout out to all of our kids. Hope they continue to come. So
Hope so. Here's a sports schedule for CHS and the middle school this week. The middle school on Monday has middle school basketball with St. Michael. That'll be at 6 p.m. in the Spartan Arena. And we had a girls freshman team, a basketball team, but that's been postponed.
yeah, we couldn't. We had a couple injuries, and we're kind of small on numbers in our C team, and so us and baseball will make that game up once we get We got a busy week this week, and with the 2 injuries that we have, it kind of put us short on numbers for that C team group. So once we get everybody back to healthy, we'll try to add them back on. We already played them down the road, but we were going to play them a second time. So
Tuesday, the Lady Spartans are home with Mount Vernon, as we've been talking about. The games will be at 6 and at 7:30 at Spartan Bowl. The middle school basketball will be at Newcastle on Tuesday. On Thursday, the middle school basketball will be home with Union County at the Spartan Arena. Starts
5:30 probably.
5:30 in the afternoon, in the late afternoon that begins. On Friday, the Lady Spartans will be in action once again, as they'll be hosting Centerville for 6 and 7:30 games at Spartan Bowl. And on Saturday, it'll be varsity wrestling at 9 o'clock at Lawrence. It'll be varsity boys basketball scrimmage 1 p.m. at Nicetown. Lady Spartans basketball at Anderson at 6 and 7:30 on Saturday night. And also we got at Beech Grove, the girls swimming, right?
That was this past Saturday. So,
Okay.
I haven't seen the write-up yet today on
Coming
that, so
up.
I'm waiting to get that from the coaches. So hopefully we'll get that quickly. So they had that last Saturday. So good opening for the girls, and hopefully they did well, and we'll go from there.
Why wasn't it boys included?
Boys just started practice last week, so they don't have enough practice. They start
I
at different
see.
times, so this was just a strict girls meet. And then at the end of the year, we have just the boys meet with Muncie Burris. So not quite ready to get the boys in the water yet. They got to get through this practice this week.
They'll
so.
both be in action later this month.
Yeah, once we get into the next meet with Centerville and we open up, it'll be both of us. So
Well, that's good to know. So, how many girls are swimming? Do they have enough?
there's about 12 to 15 of both boys and girls total. I mean, individually, so about 25 kids total to 30. So better than we had in the past, and hopefully it'll continue to grow and get bigger.
Ever find a diver?
None has come to us and said they were diving yet. But we're not the only school in that boat. There's a lot of schools that do not have divers. That's
Really?
yeah. So, unfortunately.
Yes, yes, it is. Way right.
If somebody wants to dive, we might entertain putting you in there yet. So
Had boys basketball red and white scrimmage on Saturday. I was able to sit and watch that. A lot of promise there, I think.
I was in there. I was moving
You were
a little bit
busy.
of concessions around and moving some pops, which is where I'm going in a minute here. But I hope, you know, a lot of kids coming back. You know, we lost Jonah and Cole, and those are really the only two that we lost, and everybody else is back. And you got a few additions that didn't play as much last year that's going to probably play a little bit more this year. And size-wise, we're fairly consistent from top to bottom. Obviously, Gage is the tallest, but the rest of them are pretty much interchangeable from 6'4" to 6'2" for the most part. Seems like there's a lot of those numbers on the roster. And, you know, JV's got a lot promising, and you know, had a kid dunk it in the JV scrimmage to start the game. It's been a while since we've had one of those. And, you know, kids just want to come watch the dunks. They could care less what the score is in the big scheme of things. They want to see the dunks. But I don't, you know, you hope you're as good as you think you can be, and hopefully they'll pay attention and accept all their roles, and not only at the varsity, all the way down to the freshman level. You know, we got Charles coaching the JV, and Joey Seidel this year is coaching the boys freshman team, and so we hope they all chime in. And
Neat to watch Charles. I enjoy watching him coach, having watched him play. Seems like just the other day, but I think he learned a lot from the coaches when he was playing, and I see some of that in what he does.
I think Kerry's done a good job of surrounding himself with people that's been a part of what has been done here, and people who want to be a part of the program and do what they're supposed to do. And you can, you know, and that's the goal that we're getting for the girls, is try to find those people who want to buy into what Michelle wants done, and, you know, be a part of the little, she's going to start a little girls league in the spring. Hopefully we get some surrounding schools to jump in. We know we got the feelers out. They're supposed to be sending them to her. I haven't heard how many they have replied yet, if anybody. But I sent them all to about a 70-mile radius. So hopefully we'll get some teams to hit, and then, you know, and get your kids that have been part of you before come back and try to help run some of those things. And that just kind of builds once they know what you want. You know, it's good to have Laura back in the last couple of years. And, you know, we got Chad and Rick Brown, and then, you know, we thought we had another ex-Lady Spartan for a while, but her job's changed, and life got in the way a little bit, and maybe in time we'll get them back into the fold again.
I do want to go back and mention something about a Lady Spartan team, the junior varsity. I believe we're 3-1. Don't know when the last time they started a season like that, but promise there. And when you look at who they've played so far, 3-1 is pretty good.
Well, you know, we got out, and I was really pleasantly surprised with Saturday. Obviously, they got down early to New Pal and made a little run at the end, but just couldn't overcome and got back to 14. But, you know, you go into the Saturday with Decatur Central and Ritter, you just don't know. And came out on top of both those, and, you know, a couple of contests. The first one was pretty tight. And then we kind of struggled with Shenandoah, and, you know, they've got a good program, but I think we turned the heat up a little bit in the second half and stretched that lead out just a tad and made it a little bit more comfortable. So kind of like the varsity, you know, we kind of struggled, and all of a sudden it was 10 and 12 and then 14 and whatever the final score ended up being. So promising things.
J.C. Wilhelm with 19 the other night as a freshman against Shenandoah. So I look for big things there.
Well, you know, I watched the games I've seen, and I think she has a good idea of what needs to be done. There are obviously some skills she'll have to work on as she gets older. And you find a lot of young kids coming in don't know how to use their offhand as well as they probably should. And that's probably true for many, boys and girls both. So I'm sure the coach will find those little things that will help. But I think she has an idea of what the game is and what you need to get done to make it happen. So.
Good to see.
Scrimmage coming up at 1 o'clock with Knightstown. Is there a charge on that?
You know what? I don't know yet. It seems like there was last time we went up there, but it's been 2 years, and Matt hasn't sent me any information yet.
Okay.
If you're listening, Matt, but I'll get him on the phone here in a little while. I'll send him a text message and find out. But,
Starts at 1. And
starts at 1.
the IHSA sort of rules scrimmages, don't they? They tell you.
Yeah, you got a couple options. There's option A, which is 4 quarters of 15 minutes, or option B, which is 5 quarters of 12, but one of those quarters has to be JV. So it just depends on what the two coaches want to pick. So they can choose to do the 4:15s, or they can choose the 5:12s, but that's all you get, 60 minutes, period.
That's running, right? Running clock.
Running clock until you get in the last, minute, and it's a shooting free throw you get to stop or whatever it is. And certain quarters you got to do certain defenses, and certain quarters you got to do a different defense, and some quarters you can press, and one quarter you can do whatever you want. But it's pretty much controlled. I personally would just have a scrimmage game and let you do what you want. But
Yes.
I don't know if you always get out of what you want, because if you're better than that other team, then that other team may not get to try something that they're good at because they don't have time to get into that situation. So we might score only 25 in a scrimmage if we have to go to the rules, because we might hold the ball and work on our offense. So
Nice. Nicetown's fairly new school, nice gymnasium, and not that far of a drive if people want to get a good preview.
no, it's a pretty atmosphere, and Matt does a good job of hosting people, and I'm going to hope to be there, but I got a birthday party of a 1-year-old granddaughter that happens on Saturday.
Well,
so,
that's
Grandpa may have to be
needs
at the
there. That's
birthday
pretty
party.
important.
So if everything else in my personal life stays stable and good, and then hopefully Saturday I'll be going to my granddaughter's birthday party.
I didn't know you had time for personal life.
Yeah, I've been a lot of trips back and forth to Marion in the last week and a half, so.
Yeah.
But that's just part of it. So.
Yes, it is.
Might talk about football for a minute. Mount Vernon is in the semi-state after upsetting Roncalli at Indianapolis, to the surprise of quite a few people. And they'll be playing Evansville Memorial come Saturday.
I assume they'll probably be
Friday,
on
the semi-states.
Yeah, unless they play Saturday because of travel distance, which could happen. So, well, let's hope they win.
Yeah, we want to congratulate them. I mean, they've done pretty well. Have lost one game. I think they're 12-1 on this season.
Yeah, and they lost the very first game of the year to 6A Noblesville, like 56-35, and they've won the next 12 in a row. So, from my personal standpoint, it'd be nice for them to wait the state finals so we can say we got beat by the state champion.
Evansville Memorial that they play is 11-2, I believe, and Evansville Memorial upset A Central to advance. So it's kind of not a local connection, but area connection anyway with East
Yeah, it'd
Central.
been nice to see the Trojans to get in and a chance to play Mount Vernon. And, But when Evansville Memorial's got a good team, there's good programs down there. Memorial, Mater Dei, and Wrights, and all those down in there have traditionally had good football teams. So a lot of good football played down in Evansville. Castle, Boonville, Pioneer, not Pioneer, but Boonville. They are the Pioneers. But Vincennes is down in there.
I thought, and I was gone last week and didn't get to talk about it, but when we went to Mount Vernon, obviously they poured it on the first half. Second half, they backed off and played their subs. I thought it was a class act. Didn't try to run up the score like we've seen from some of the neighborhood schools here. And probably, well, they could have scored at the end and decided just to run the timeout the best that they could. So I think they're to be congratulated that they were good sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice, and hopefully when we're on the side of that at some point in time that we also remember that. I think there's been some opportunities in some of our sports that we could run the scores up a little higher than we have, and we don't. I don't know how many of you know, but the quarterback that came in at the end for Mount Vernon is Jason Joy and Carissa French's kid, that both ex-Spartan athletes, and they live in the Mount Vernon district. And Jason's boy was the quarterback of the last group that was on the
Well, I
field
didn't know
on
that.
Friday night.
Yeah.
So kind of nice to have a. Well, I wish the Connersville kid was here, but
Right.
can't help where they live. So, but both their parents are from here, and both were good people, and I'm sure their kids as good as they were. So.
Well, it'll be an interesting tourney coming up, and they're fighting for the 4A championship, Class 4A. So
It'd be nice to have lost to the state champion. So that would be.
would be. Yeah, well, we
But it would be nice if we lost. But at least we're going to lose. I'm going to lose it to them.
I guess we can root for them, but some
Yeah.
people might find it difficult. But after all,
Yeah, you always want the one to beat you go as far as they can.
yes,
So
makes you look
hopefully they'll
good.
continue to go on.
Right.
So,
Well, most of the time.
well, you can have your own personal grudges. I'll stay neutral.
Okay. Well, man,
I may
in your
have to
position.
deal with them down the line.
Yeah.
Sam briefly talked about the running clock in basketball, and what again is that? You might bring us up to date on that.
Well, as I told them when they put it out, most teams will try to figure out how to score 35 against us and not worry about getting 35 points ahead. But if you're 35 points ahead in the second half, the clock will only stop on timeouts,
Okay.
free throws that are actually going to have shooting involved, injury, those type of things. End of the quarter. After that, it just continues to run. So, as one of my friends said when he sent the score was 63-6, he said, "Thank goodness that there was the running clock in the second half." So, sometimes those can get way out of hand. And I think if your coaches are doing what they need to do, they don't make it get that bad. But however, with the new rule, I can see people pressing until they got 35 points ahead before they call the dogs off. And the pass, if you're up by 20 or so, they're usually not pressing as much. But I can see that possibly going on for another 2 or 3 minutes to try to get to that 35-point threshold so the clock doesn't ever revert back to stopping clock. It makes the game go faster, but it also hurts, in my opinion, some kids with playing time that might have gotten in a game like that. So,
Well, we had an example of that with the girls over at New Pal that I believe it was the end of the third quarter. There was a held ball. There was like 20 seconds left. Held ball would have been our possession. We maybe would have had a chance to set up and work on something there, but the time ran out. And so then fourth quarter, with the alternating possession, it was their ball. And that part of it I don't like, that because might have been an opportunity for somebody to have worked on something and made a basket or whatever. It wasn't going to put us back in the ball game, but it limits the kids that maybe don't get to play as much as some of the others late in the game.
Yes.
well, I always think back about even kids who get to play late in the game, even in the middle school. Sometimes I'll use the scrimmage. In the scrimmage in the last quarter, the biggest guys played the littlest guys because you never know which one of those guys are going to be in at the end. And it's the same in the middle school. Sometimes you always want your best kids on the floor at the end in close games, which I understand. But sometimes you need that eighth man or eighth girl sitting on the bench because they might be the ones that are still left when they're high school kids and they've never been in that situation. What do I do when the pressure's on the line? So I think as our coaches, we all need to find a way to get them in spots where they are uncomfortable so they learn how to be in that situation. Because, we've been around long enough to know that kids who play in the middle school aren't always the ones who are playing at the high school.
Right.
They
develop differently.
change, they switch to, we hear a lot about kids not running cross country right now. Well, a lot of those people that run cross country in the middle school have the opportunity to play soccer in the high school and they go to the soccer side. And they don't have that at the middle school. So we do lose kids from cross country to soccer because they don't have that option in the middle school. So, and the same thing with a lot of kids who maybe play basketball, especially on the girls' side, because they don't have gymnastics at the middle school. So some of those girls who may play basketball or may swim in the middle school or do something different, switch over back to gymnastics because that's the option they now have to do. So we do lose kids just for some of those things.
In basketball, with that running clock, I was thinking that the team that was behind, those kids, their playing time was limited, but also the team that's ahead, them putting in their subs, then their playing time gets limited as well. So
I think as a coach,
it cuts both ways.
Sure, and you can control that if you really want to control it. You can hold that. If you think you're that good and it's that comfortable, you can keep it under the 35-point threshold just by demanding an extra pass or two here, or sub in just a tad bit earlier with kids who wouldn't necessarily get in the game, and maybe it stays at 28, 29, 30, it doesn't get to that 35. So
In the tournament, though, will there be
every place but the state finals.
every place but state finals? Okay. Let's have a
That's how football is.
Let's have a tournament of champions.
That's how soccer is. Well, I don't think
that didn't work.
We don't want that anymore. So
Has the running clock been in effect, nationally for a while? And at the end of just jumping on board, or?
I think Indiana was one of the first ones to pilot it in football with the 40-second play clock and then all those things. But there are other states who have mercy rules. So
Okay, I didn't know if it had been around
then even
for
with
quite a while. We just didn't hear about it in
well, it's just now
Indiana, so-
become more prevalent with us as far as, and some of that's just because of the lopsided scores that some of them have been. You're beating somebody 106-10. There's no reason to beat them 106-10. Either get them off your schedule unless they're in your conference. You don't have an option. But we've been on that side where our bottom 5 girls or bottom 5 guys in basketball are just better than the team that we're playing. And then from that standpoint, then we try not to schedule teams will be like that. But then everybody gets on us because we schedule teams that they think are too tough. But makes us better.
Yes.
So neither the boys or the girls have an easy basketball schedule. And
No, they don't.
our football schedule is not simple. Our baseball schedule is not simple because we either play our teams in our conference or we're playing the Deltas and the Yorktowns and the New Pals and the teams that we're going to play down the road. So you got to face them. And if you don't ever face them, you don't know what they're like. So until the coaches say they can't handle it anymore. But so far, they're all good. We make changes every now and then. Last year we're not going to play Lawrence North after this year, and we're going to play North Davies one year, and looking for an opponent for a couple years from now. And so we'll see who we pick up.
That's a trip.
They're coming here. That's because their coach is a Rushville grad, and he wants them to play in the bowl. And they got a group of juniors similar to our group of juniors, and they think they're going to be pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Have you picked up replacements for those teams at
For
Lawrence North?
Lawrence North, we have one for the year after. We're still looking for 2 years out. But that one, we need to have a longer commitment out of it than just 1 year.
Do you want to stay around Indianapolis, or are you?
I'll leave it up to Coach. We'll look. He'll have a little bit of input. We always like to play Indy schools.
Sure.
Got Noblesville again.
We got Noblesville again. We got Jennings County still. So Noblesville's another 2 years after this one. Jennings County's 2 more years after this one. So we'll keep up. But I'm sure we'll find somebody around the Indy area that's willing to play
Yes.
us. So,
I imagine so.
or someplace. Maybe we'll travel. I don't know.
We take pretty good fans with us.
I would think if both our boys and girls basketball teams are very successful, I would think schools would be happy with
Yes.
our following coming to their place. So, as Don Stonefield said a couple years ago, it's always nice to have a home game on a road night on Thursdays on the way. I said, yeah, because we had more people at East Central than they had. So that's a good gate for them. So, both of our fans travel just as well as to the girls when they're playing well.
Uh-huh.
So I thought we had a pretty good crowd at our place.
On a
and
Saturday night.
I actually thought we had a pretty good crowd at New Powell when we went up there. So as long as we keep getting better and showing improvement, I think people will keep coming and watching them.
Still have all sports tickets on sale?
All sports tickets for sale. Just you got less all sports to go see than you did back in August. So.
Hall of Fame tickets are on
Hall of
sale.
Fame tickets have picked up a little bit, but sure we have. I think each of us got 500 to start with. We can get up to 1,500 more if we need it. So come out and see us at the Athletic Hall. It's $10. I'll take you for the whole day on December the 30th. So
Are the all sports tickets good for the tourney?
not good for any tournaments, invitationals, conference
Okay.
meets. They're also good for the middle school events as well. So unless it's a tournament, those are.
Goodbye.
It even says right on the thing, not good for tournaments and invites. But you can see a lot of sports. I'd say, not to throw names, but I'd say Curtis Dalton gets the most use out of his all-sport ticket than anybody in the county. So he's at everything I see. So gets his money's
And you
worth.
say you have the Hall of Fame's tickets.
Hall of Fame tickets are in the office,
Available?
and they're available at $10 a piece. And come and see us, and Katrina will take care of you.
And that's for 2 sessions?
Yeah, that'll get you through the morning session and the night session. So it's 2 tickets when you buy it.
And that'll be between the holidays
December the 30th
at Newcastle?
at Newcastle.
Okay.
2 days after the day after their Spartan Wrestling Classic. So you can come out and watch a bunch of wrestling on the 28th and 29th, and go watch a bunch of basketball on the 30th. So it could be 3 good days of sports.
You're trying to keep our fans busy, right?
It's a long time over Christmas break, and then come see the tournament the week before on the 23rd, 2 nights before Christmas. Come and watch 8 games in the bowl that day as well. So
Lots of exciting basketball right around the corner
Oh,
for
it's-
our fans.
It's the best time of the year.
come see all 20 sports. We're happy to have all of you. So. But,
We'll know you're anxious to have these events, and
yeah, I mean, we enjoy hosting people, and I
sure,
think
absolutely, we've got a
we
beautiful
get a lot of
facility.
compliments from our helps. They're always pleased with our people that work, and Brian Edgecombe does a great job of taking people when they come
Yes,
into the
he
bowl and
does.
take care of people, and just a little bit of hospitality here and there goes a long way. And easy to get people to come back when you have good hospitality for them. So
And when you got the best gym in the state of Indiana, people want to come and see it.
well, I said a long time ago, if you build it, they'll come. So.
That's right. Well, they built it in 1958, so, and they've been coming ever since.
There you go.
Well, we've got a great facility, and we always welcome people to come and treat them
Yeah, it's nice for those first time people that haven't walked by there for a while, and they walk by and they may not have a gym. It's like, ooh, just those little things. And I think it's got a lot of character to it. And it's tight and it's small. It's not small, but when it gets people in there, it's loud. So
Thanks, Brent, for joining us on tonight's show, and
happy to be here.
thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Good night.